Welcome to the tutorial on the automated data discovery feature of Accurity. This feature allows you to automatically create data catalog objects from connected data sources, as well as to synchronize them to reflect any changes in the data source. This makes the entire process of creating and maintaining a data catalog faster and simpler. We must have at least one data source connected to the application to get started with the automated data discovery feature. Navigate to the Data Sources section in the main menu on the left and add one. Now that we have made sure we have a place to draw metadata from, we can create data catalog objects using automated data discovery. Datasets are objects most closely representing entire data sources. And Accurity allows you to automatically discover some or all metadata objects when creating a data set. To do this, navigate to the Dataset section in the main menu and click the plus button in the top left corner of the dataset list to create a new dataset. You can name your dataset, and in the Dataset Type section, select the option Physical. This choice means that you wish your dataset to be connected to a data source. A new drop-down selection will become available, titled Data Source. Select the data source you wish to explore and click Save at the very bottom of the dataset detail. A new window will now pop up. On the left half of this window, you can see a list of tables and views that are present in the connected data source. Clicking on a table row will expand the list with a list of columns belonging to that view or table, including some basic information about the data within. The rows representing those tables that you decided to include in the automatic data discovery process will now be listed on the right side of the window. To move rows, you must select them using the checkboxes on the left side of each row. You can select all rows easily by clicking the uppermost checkbox next to the filters. You can also select only a couple of rows and use filters on the top of the list to search for those rows that interest you by name and whether they are a table or a view. In this case, we are creating a completely new dataset. So we will select all the rows and move them to the right side of the discovery screen. Once you are satisfied with your selection, click on the Confirm button in the bottom right of the window. For table, view and column that were moved to the right side of the discovery screen, appropriate data catalog objects will be created. That is, data structures for tables and views, and data fields for columns. In the Dataset detail, navigate to the Last Synchronization Results section. This section of the detail informs us about the effect the last discovery task had on the data catalog. For now, since we only just created this dataset, it only shows how many data structures and data fields were automatically created by our creation of the dataset. Other information that is displayed in this section is who triggered the last discovery task and when, what object was used to start the discovery, and the status of any affected data catalog objects. We will get to those later. Now that we have successfully created the data catalog objects for this data source, let us take a look at how to synchronize any changes that might be present in the dataset's connected data after it has been in use for some time. To detect any changes in a connected data source, go to the Dataset section in the main menu on the left side of the screen and open the detailed view of a dataset connected to the data source you want to check by clicking on it in the datasets list. Navigate to the very bottom of the dataset detail and click the Synchronize button. A familiar window will pop up. Notice that there is one more column on each side of the discovery screen. This column is Status. There are 4 possible statuses. No updates mean that the table or view in question has stayed the same since the creation of its data structure. Update available means that there has been a change in the table or view, and so the data structure in question can be updated to reflect it. Accurity means that the table or view in question has since been deleted in the data source, so only the data catalog objects now exist and are only in Accurity. Source means that these tables or views exist only in the data source and don't have an object in the data catalog that would represent them. Since they don't have an object created in the catalog yet, the tables and views with the source status will be located in the left half of the discovery screen. Moving them to the right half of the discovery screen selects them for the upcoming synchronization, which will then create data structures and data fields for them. Tables and views with statuses Accurity or Update Available will be located in the right half of the discovery screen. By moving those of either Accurity or Update Available status to the left half of the screen, you are unselecting them from the synchronization you are about to trigger, and they will remain in their present form after the conclusion of this synchronization, albeit marked as outdated. Tables and views with the status No Updates are locked in the right half of the discovery screen. Once you are satisfied with your selection, click on the Confirm button to run the discovery task. When the process is finished, we can take a look at the last synchronization results and see what has changed. Now we will focus on the statuses of the results. The created status will belong to those data structures and data fields that have been created during the last synchronization. It will be those that had the source status in the discovery screen. The updated status will belong to those data structures and data fields that had updates available and those updates were performed. The obsoleted status will belong to those data structures and data fields that had the Accurity status in the discovery screen and remained selected for the synchronization. The application has detected that there is no longer a table or a view attached to them in the data source and, as such, no longer represents the current state of the data source. The outdated status will belong to all data structures and data fields that were unselected for the last synchronization. Those would be tables and views with Accurity and Update Available statuses, which were moved from the right half of the screen to the left one. Thank you for watching the tutorial on how to use the new automated data discovery feature. In case you want to know more about our automated data discovery or another feature of Accurity, click the Help button in the top right corner to open the Accurity user guide. Feel free to contact us with any feedback you may have. We wish you smooth and efficient use of Accurity. Goodbye.